Holly and welcome to Las Vegas. It's a very trashy city and honestly I really don't want to come here again. It's gotten much worse than I remember. However, I have had quite fun, and for those of you who didn't know and I'm wondering why I'm here if I don't enjoy Vegas, it's because I'm currently on a family holiday. I'm actually going to like a little convention tomorrow, so I'm really excited. I've been having a great time on holiday and I really wanted to do a Q&A video while I'm away because I don't have too much time to film things and I don't have my stuff with me, so I thought a Q&A is something nice and easy that I can do while I'm away because I don't need any of my things. It's fantastic. So I asked you guys on Instagram as well as my community tab if you had any questions, and these were my favorite ones. Starting off, what's your unpopular Lego opinion? I feel like as a whole I don't really have all too many. One though that is like currently I guess like a hot topic at the moment is that I personally don't really like the May the 4th promo all that much. Don't get me wrong, there are some great things about it. I love the fact that we have a minifigure and a build. I think that's fantastic. I definitely think it's been one of the best promos in recent years, and just the offerings that are available are pretty good. However, I personally hate the fact that Lego has taken away double VIP points for every single set and are only doing it on a select things. It's almost like we took one step forward but also took like 2 steps back at the same time, as they're taking away something I guess we now expect because it's been sort of a thing that's happened every single year for the most part besides like 1 year. So that definitely sucks. I'm also not a huge fan of the build for the May the 4th promo. Now Lego did offer it to me and I've currently sort of got it on its way to me so I can like review it for you guys and give you my proper in-hand thoughts. So I'll let you know more on that when it does arrive. But yeah, not a huge fan of like May the 4th this year. It's definitely very promising and I'm looking forward to next year's now considering the changes that they've made. I think we're going in the right direction. I'm excited for the future. But yeah, like that build it's disappointing to me. I'm glad that minifigures are back. We're heading there. Hopefully next year will be sweet. Would you rather not be able to collect any more Marvel or Star Wars sets? For me, at the moment, I would rather not be able to collect any more Marvel, purely because I feel like Marvel sets aren't that great recently. Like we've had like a really good wave last year and that one seems to be an outlier. There were some amazing gems like the Bugle, the Benatar I really loved. I also loved the builds for the Ironmonger Mayhem and the Infinity Gauntlet, like they were all spectacular, but we also had a lot of weak ones. We had the repetitive Eternal sets. We also had the really weak Spider-Man wave where just the hero of those sets was all the minifigures, and I feel like that's a consistent thing with Marvel is that the hero of the set is the minifigures, which for me isn't too bad just because I love minifigures, but I would rather have a set with a decent build and great minifigures than great minifigures and a really mediocre set. So for that reason I would go Star Wars. Star Wars minifigures are incredibly accurate like 95% of the time, and the builds are always amazing, even if things are repetitive, even if we get tons of land speeders and just tons of original trilogy sets. Like there is a lot more on offer I think with Star Wars than Marvel, and currently I'm very in a Star Wars mood as well. I mean, if I could still collect Marvel minifigures, since the question specifically said sets, I mean, I'm all good. Like, I would rather just collect Marvel minifigures and not have a single set if I had to. But yeah, Star Wars is definitely a better all-around theme, I think, in general, even though a lot of the time there's stuff that I really, really want and I feel like a lot of other people really, really want, and it just doesn't happen. Now, 2 people asked this question. It's pretty much the exact same, so I thought I would show both. But basically, it is, what do you think of the Succulents and the Orchid set, and am I going to buy them? Overall, I absolutely love the Lego Botanical range. I think it is genius, especially for young females, which is exactly what I am. I feel like it's a great way to bring in more girls into Lego, which is so exciting, without it being like directly targeting girls like Friends does, if you know what I mean. Like it's just an adults only like black box set. I know so many people in my personal life that have these sets and I'm a huge fan of them. I love that there is more, especially the Orchid. The Orchid is so gorgeous. It's one of my favorite flowers. My neighbor gave me an orchid once and I kept it alive for a really long time. So I'm so excited to see that there's a Lego one. I will be buying that once I find it on sale. The succulents as well are really cool. I feel like my mum would love those, especially like she loves a good succulent. So maybe I'll get them for her, but otherwise I don't like them as much, even though there's some amazing build techniques in them. Overall, I just hope to see more of them. I wish though that they did the sunflowers in like that bigger style. Like I would have loved some like giant proper sunflowers. Otherwise, I can't really think of too many other plants that I would like be super interested in. Am I going to the Lego store in the fashion show mall while in Vegas? Yes, of course. course I am. Guys, I have to get my Lego stamp for my Lego passport. If you didn't know, Lego do these like passport things. I found out about these through my friend Sans, and he introduced me to this whole thing where basically you get a Lego passport and you go to all the Lego stores and they'll stamp it for you. And I love traveling, so I just ate this stuff up. Like, you just go and get all the stamps. So as we've been traveling, I've been garnering all the stamps. I've been filming them as well and uploading all of my little adventures on TikTok, and I'll probably upload them to Instagram too. But I did go to the fashion show mall. We even did some of the Build a Minifigure parts because they had that like Black Widow style like straight hairpiece that I wanted, as well as some new balloon animals, which I was really excited about. Plus, unlike Australia, you can just pick 5 pieces, so I didn't need any of like the minifigure heads or torsos that I didn't care about, which was a huge win. They also had a giant clone statue, which I took a photo with. I loved it. Super cool store. Didn't really spend much time there. Didn't buy anything besides the Build a Minifigure, but it was super fun. I'm gonna go to all of the stores I can while I'm away. I'm so excited. When is upgrading Lego Marvel Minifigs Part 4? I have a full list of figures ready to upgrade. Usually with each video, I try and get between like 10 and 12, just so that I've got quite a wide range. I've even like half done like what would be the 5th video in this series, and personally, I am just waiting on Wolverine. He's the one figure that I really wanted to include in this next one, and because the mechs got delayed, I couldn't get him, so I couldn't include him, and then they got delayed in Australia again. I'm gonna buy him while on holiday just so I can get my VIP points from the Lego store, but once that is done, I will upload it. I also want to get the Thor minifigure, but I think I might push him back to the next one. Like, I'm not too fussed on getting him soon, but I am planning on one of them. I've also been writing a list for Harry Potter and Star Wars, so I will be making more of them. I sort of had like one a month and then just like didn't because I've been waiting for Wolverine, but it is coming. I've got a full list. I'm constantly writing down ideas. I promise it's coming soon. I guess not too soon because I don't get back until like the end of May. So, and then it's like, I guess, summer release season. Let's just say June for now. I found this question incredibly funny. Are you going to gamble enough to afford the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man minifigure? Look, it's tempting. The price of that minifigure is a lot. Also, I really want it. He looks gorgeous. I really want that minifigure, but it's a lot of money. And honestly, I am not a fan of gambling. I've never even just like wanted to do it just for the sake of doing it, I guess. But despite all this, I did actually think, you know what, like, might as well gamble, so I plan on picking up a random CMF blind bag, and that will be my gambling for this trip. Favorite MCU show so far? Okay, so I'm really enjoying Moon Knight, but I'm really confused by it. I feel like I need to rewatch all of the episodes. I also haven't watched this week's one because I wasn't able to download it for the road trip that we went on to get to Vegas, which was frustrating, so I'm a bit behind. But because I'm confused, I don't want to put it as like the top. Honestly, for me, Hawkeye and WandaVision were my favorites. Looking back, Loki really didn't impress me. There was too many filler episodes. WandaVision was awesome. It was refreshing. There was so much mystery behind it. It did sort of feel rushed towards the end. Like, it felt like we went slowly, and then like the finale hit and everything like went full speed ahead. Hawkeye, though, I loved. It was very grounded. We were back in New York. Like, it just felt like classic MCU. Like, there was no multiverse stuff. There was no like major external MCU connections. It just felt very grounded. Also, Haley Steinfeld and Florence Pugh were spectacular in it, and it made me appreciate the Hawkeye character a lot more. I loved Hawkeye. I honestly think I would put that number 1 and then WandaVision number 2. What's your dream Star Wars prequel set? I have thought so much about this. I am really enjoying the prequels. I'm finally up to the end of the Clone Wars. I literally just had the season finale to watch left, and at the moment, I would really love to see a UCS Anakin's Jedi Interceptor. Now, I know that I don't like giant Star Wars ships. However, I love Anakin Skywalker. That ship as well is yellow. It's a prequels UCS set if it did happen, and I just feel like it would overall be very interesting, dynamic, and unique. Plus, it would look absolutely incredible. I've still got to get that 2020 playset one. I missed out on getting that, and I need to try and find it somewhere. Hopefully someone at Brickworld Chicago is selling it so I can buy it there, or maybe Atlanta Brick Co will have it or something. I need to get a hold of it. But that currently is like my number 1. There are tons of other things I would want to see, like of course, like a remake of Palpatine's Arrest, another Gungan sub just so I can get Queen Amidala, or literally any Queen Amidala set, a Master Builder's Naboo, or even just like a micro scale Naboo. I would love to see something like that. A Geonosis Arena would be really cool as well, but for me, my priority right now, UCS Anakin Jedi Interceptor. And look, it's Skywalker themed, so like it's on brand with what the designers and whoever's like doing the set ideas really want, so can we get it? Please? Speaking of Star Wars UCS, are you planning on buying the UCS Falcon before it gets retired? I saw it in store today, it was on the shelf, and I'm having a problem now because I was originally planning, like, once the AT-AT got revealed, I was like, if I was going to spend that much money on a Star Wars UCS set, I would get the AT-AT because then I can fill it with all of these troopers, it's easier to display, it's a giant grey dog, Hoth is one of my favourite planets in Star Wars, like, it just makes sense. But then I always go back and I look at the Falcon and I'm like, if I'm spending that much money, should I buy the Falcon instead? Like, it's gorgeous, it's amazing, it's so iconic, like, it's the most popular and well-known Star Wars ship in the entirety of Star Wars. Like, maybe I should get that, maybe I should get the AT-AT, but then if I get the Falcon, I have to get a stand for it. And that's just like a ridiculous amount of money to spend on a Lego set in general, and I'm not the type of person that would probably buy both. Like, I just can't justify it to myself, so I'd have to get one, and I'm scared that I'm gonna make the wrong decision. I mean, either way, I'm pretty sure I would be happy, but I don't know anymore. I really want it. It's amazing. In an ideal world, I could have both of these things. I don't know, I really don't. I want it so badly though, it's amazing. I mean, recently it was 20% off on Amazon. If I can find it for that again, I feel like maybe this time I'll have to pull the trigger because I love it. I've got a storage unit now, so I don't have to build it. I have space for it, so I don't know, it's just a lot of money, but I do really, really want it. I do think though, when it gets on that like retiring list, I think that will be the thing that like makes me pull the trigger. What is your favorite minifigure you own and one you want a lot? My favorite minifigure is always a really tough one. I feel like it changes quite often. Like, I can think of like a handful right now, and it comes down to like Woody from Toy Story. I love the Scarlet Witch like CMF figure, but honestly, after thinking about it for a while, I honestly think, especially for the year it was made, the Tricone hat Jack Sparrow, that one has to be my favorite. That figure, when it came out, made me so excited. I always wanted the version with the hat, sorry, Captain Jack Sparrow. It just looks gorgeous. And like, considering that was 2011, that is insane. I feel like if it happened these days, right, and like they hadn't made those sets, he wouldn't have leg printing. Like, he would still have the mold, maybe have like a pretty generic face, but we wouldn't have gotten like the 4 different face variations. I feel like it would just overall be a more basic figure. So the fact that we had that much detail and that much just care and effort put into a figure in 2011, or was it 2012? No, I think it was 2011. Now I'm getting confused. Anyway, it's amazing. I love it. That figure is never going to be made again either, so if you haven't got one, highly recommend. It is a gorgeous figure. I bought him separately, and I have the original Jack Sparrow as well. Sorry, Captain Jack Sparrow without the hat. I love both of these figures to death. They are amazing. One day, hopefully I'll get the Black Pearl, because another one that I would really want right now is Davy Jones to go along with him. I've always wanted that figure. I thought he looked incredible. He's so expensive though, I don't think I'm gonna get him anytime soon. And also Queen Amidala, especially because I'm in like my prequel Star Wars phase, Skywalker Saga as well. I'm just seeing her in the game and I'm like, man, I want you so badly. Every time as well I rewatch the prequels, I'm like, man, I should have got her, and then every time I go back and check the price and she keeps going up, I should just buy her. But again, really expensive, but I love those figures. I want all of them at some point. They are definitely right now my most wanted. Hi Holly, would you like to see a set wave similar to Lightyear's with other Pixar movies? I absolutely would. I saw these sets on sale today in the Lego store and I was like, oh, this makes me so bad, because Lego did send them to me to review. However, they arrived the day I left, so I didn't get time to open them and build them. They shipped them really late, so I was like really annoyed, but never mind. I'm gonna build stream them when I do get them, but I would love to see other waves like this. Like, I feel like it would be really cool, even just to get like 2 sets a year from just old Pixar movies. Like, I would love some sets from the original Incredibles movie. I would love some more Toy Story ones. Like, I feel like a remade Pizza Planet truck would be super cool, even though I did spend a lot of money on the original one. I would love that. Same with like bringing back Cars. I think that would be really cool. I would love to see it. I don't think it's gonna happen though, which is really unfortunate. I would love for them to like go back and make a ton of like remade Pixar movie sets. It's just not gonna happen. Is there a resale Lego store? Yes, there is. There's quite a few of them actually. I know in the US there's a chain of them called Bricks and Minifigs, and they're sort of like, again, spread across the country. I've been to some of them. They are awesome. You can buy like new sets, you can buy used sets, you can buy retired sealed sets, as well as just like minifigures. They are awesome. There's also like a couple of other places in the US. The main one that I can think of is Atlanta Brick Co. That store looks incredible, and they again have like sealed sets, used sets that have been built, minifigures. is and everything. I'm pretty sure they're like the largest one. There's a couple as well. I know there's one in like the northeast of America, and there's like one near Tampa in Florida. In terms of like Europe though, I have no idea if there are any. In Australia, there's a couple. There's like Bricks by Patty, and I think one, no, is it My Hobbies maybe, that I've got one. I've never gone to them. There's also one somewhere else. It's like near the Olympic Park in New South Wales and Sydney. And I've like seen it on Instagram. I cannot remember what it's called though. There's a couple around. I'm sure there's going to be some in other countries as well. They are really cool places to go as well. Just to see everything is like incredibly cool. But they do exist. They're just not officially owned by Lego, so do keep that in mind. And sometimes can be a bit more expensive than buying on Bricklink, but it's just more convenient, and I think that's why as well the prices are higher. Would you like to see more expensive microscale sets for Harry Potter like the 71043 Castle? Honestly, no. Purely because you said more expensive. If they did like smaller microscale sets, I would love to see that. Especially like the one that I can think of is like the Hogwarts train on that like curving viaduct bridge that exists in like Scotland or something with like rolling green hills. I think that would work really well, and I would love to see it, but I can't see it being a $400 set. Like, no, just keep the castle to that. I don't even want a castle expansion. I just think it would be too awkward. It would make my set too big. Personally, I don't like it. If they made it, would I love it and would I buy it? Absolutely, but it's not high on like my wish list. It would be really cool just to have things in like that Hogwarts castle, I guess, like universe and scale, but I feel like they'd have to be little advent calendar things or just like small sets. But it would be really interesting to see like a miniature wave of like one set a year type of thing, like they do with like the buildable creatures of microscale things. That would be really cool, but just more expensive? No, I'm done. I'm happy with Hogwarts Castle on its own. This next question is definitely a can of worms, but I found it incredibly interesting, and that is, do you feel more obligated to like a set sent by LAN than one you bought yourself? I know that your opinions are your own in reviews, but I want to know if you feel like you need to cut LAN sets a little more slack. For me personally, and I can say this with like 100% honesty and just like all of my heart, I don't, and I feel like the main thing is that if you are getting sent something and you feel like you have to be nicer or want to be nicer and say more positive things because you're scared that like that privilege is going to get taken away from you, then you shouldn't be getting sent free things at all to review, because you're not being honest with firstly yourself but also the people that you're talking to. Like, I am essentially advertising a product to you, and if I'm influencing your decision to buy something and I'm lying to you, then that's not good, and I personally would not feel good doing that. I personally feel like, and know for a fact as well from a few people that I've spoken to, that sometimes they do seem a bit more positive because they are trying to gain something from LAN. They want to be sent more sets. They want to move up into a different tier so that they can get sent more sets. They want to get more interviews and things like that. Like, I have heard people admit to that, and I also can just by watching people, I sort of get that impression from a few people. Like, to me personally, I feel like you can tell if someone is doing that, and it's not good. Like, I feel it would feel really bad lying to you. And like Lego has said as well, that you don't have to like be nice. Like, you can say whatever you want, but I also feel like with them, I've gotten the impression that there is sort of like a line. Like, it's like you can say whatever you want, but like if you say this or if you do it in like this way, then they like don't get happy, and it sort of feels like we have a bit of free reign, or at least this is how I feel, like we have free reign, but like also be careful. I don't know if that's the same for every member of LAN. That's personally the impression that I've gotten, but I'm not gonna beat around the bush if I don't like a set. Like, for example, the Hogwarts trunk. Like, if I paid 90 Australian dollars for that set, I would have been really disappointed. Like, I just feel like it was not worth its value. Like, and I want to tell people that, like, even though I got sent it for free, like, I tried to think of things that I had spent my money on for $90 and to sort of compare the value so I can get, like, an accurate thing. But yeah, I don't let it affect my opinion. I mean, if LAN, like, took away all of those privileges from me because I said something bad, like, I would rather just keep going and buying the products myself than feel like I have to say things positive in order to get sent free sets early for review. Like, it's not worth it to me. At the end of the day, for me personally, my honesty and the trust you have in me is way more important than getting sent a Lego set for free. Like, I can just buy that myself. I would much rather be honest and have you guys trust me for my opinions, I guess, and be able to believe and feel like you, I guess, are getting an accurate and honest reading from the things I say. Does that make sense? In my opinion, I don't think I could say the same for quite a few people in land, but I mean, that is just my assumption and the, I guess, feelings that I'm getting from other people, and with that, I think I've said too much and I'm going to move on. And lastly, do you enjoy being a LEGO Star Wars fan? Being a LEGO Star Wars fan is very interesting because at the same time, I'm always incredibly frustrated and often feel like disappointed with most things, whether it be like the price, whether it be the fact that it's another original trilogy set from most likely A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back, or if it's just the fact that I guess like I had a hope for something and I'm being let down, which again is because I'm setting expectations. Fair enough that they're not being met. But on the other hand, there's the LEGO Star Wars community, which like half the time can be a bit intense, but it's also very rewarding. There's a lot of really passionate fans. Even if people go about things the wrong way, there is a lot of passion and a lot of love for this theme and just Star Wars in general. I mean, Star Wars in general is, again, like a very interesting thing. Like, there are people who get like really mad at the fact that Rey's on the top of the LEGO Star Wars game, and then there's people who hate the sequel movies, and there's people that hate the prequels. I mean, just Star Wars in general. It's messy, but everyone is really passionate. Everyone really loves the franchise. As long as we get rid of like the gatekeeping side of things, like I feel like we're all good. And I just love the LEGO Star Wars community. It's awesome. I love how excited and just passionate everyone is. And I'm trying to get like Harry Potter up there. I feel like we're getting there and our excitement's getting there, but like LEGO Star Wars community is next level. Like, we're never gonna hit that, but we're trying, we're getting there. And like, I love being a LEGO Harry Potter fan more so because I feel like the designers are like taking our feedback and like all of the things we're saying and like applying it to the newer sets, whereas sometimes with Star Wars it feels like that's sort of like being overlooked or overshadowed sometimes, which is frustrating, but at the end of the day there's not really much we can do about it besides constantly expressing like our feedback and our desires and our wants and things like that. But yeah, being a LEGO Star Wars fan overall is a lot of fun despite it being frustrating sometimes, but I love it. The community is by far the best aspect of it, and just with LEGO in general, like the community is my favorite part of the entire hobby. But those are all of the questions for today. It's currently like 10 p.m. at night and like I'm ready for bed, which is like not typical Vegas behavior. But then again, I am not the typical visitor to Vegas. I would much rather sit and build my Lego than hang out downstairs. But thank you guys so much for your patience as well while I've been on holiday and letting me enjoy it and then trying to, I guess, just spit out content where and when I can. And thank you as well to everyone who did send in your questions. I will be doing another one of these next month while I'm in the UK visiting my grandparents. So if you do have any questions, let me know in the comments below, but I'll also put up an Instagram story and a community tab post just in case you forget. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please give me a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below. And until next time, I'll see you later.